Zero Data Voxels is the next thing I want to go over. Zero Data Voxels are basically voxels that actually reside in the world, and they are basically generated by the server. It's not something that you as a player actually create. That's the whole premise of it. The voxels you see in the world that you mine from, where you get all your materials, all that kind of stuff, they basically don't exist. If that makes anything makes any kind of sense. This floor that I'm standing on does not exist. I did not create the voxels that are on this floor. The server did, or the computer that's running that side of things. So if I take my selection tool and I select this, I copy it and I paste it, do you see this? There's no data. There's no voxel here that exists. There's no way to move this thing really. You see how it starts glitching out because it knows that there's no data for it in the world. Now I can do that again. You know, this floor, it says there's a voxel there, but when I copy it and then I paste it, you see it acts a fool again, because basically it's saying that it doesn't. We don't have data for this, so we can't place it into the world. And because of that, that is the whole reasoning between zero data voxels. Because those particular voxels do not exist, but we can use them to our advantage. And I think his name was Farrell. I did a video on his little technique of using it to do a cookie cutter. To cut out cylinders and stuff like that. It's using the same exact technique. So, using that same premise, let's see here. Let me find something interesting. Let's make something funky. So, let's see here. That's not what I wanted. Give me some brick. There we go. We're going to make a shape here, like so. Something unique, so it kind of, you can't miss it. Now, where I am in the world right now is I am below ground. I am literally down inside the bottom of my claim, and there's literally like mountains and stuff. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So let's go to the top of my claim here, so you can actually see that I am, where my workshop is literally down there below these steps. So you see where the world is here on this mountain plane. My workshop is literally underground. So let's go back down in here to where I am underground again. I am going to use that to my advantage, just because my walls, my floor are all those zero data voxels. The space that I'm in right now is space that I have cut out, so there's nothing that resides in it. I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to revert it using my heal tool back to its basically factory default. And as you can tell here, when I click on this using my heal tool, whatever resided in this space, which before I ever touched my claim, it's going to revert that one single voxel back to that, which the only thing that resided here underground were zero data voxels, stuff that was generated by the server. So I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to literally heal tool this whole entire shape. It looks like there's something physical here, but there really isn't. Now, to get my little, I'm going to put a little handle on this. So I'll have something to grab onto, and I'll be able to see it. And besides, dang it. Let's do that again. Bring it off. I'm going to bring it off one voxel. So literally it would be 2 away when I go to paste it. But I'm going to select this whole entire shape that I've created, including this voxel that I've laid down. I'm going to do a copy. I'm going to come over to my board. I'm going to make sure that it has that 1 voxel spacing between it and the wood. And I'm going to click it. Now, that looks a little differently than what I had there. Did I select the whole thing? Yes, I did. Okay. Let's paste it with, that's pasting it with air. So let's do it without. Let's bring this down. Pasting it without air basically does nothing. But I got this funky shape going on in here. Why, geez, it's the same thing. Isn't that cool? Because the only thing that it didn't cut out was where the zero data voxels were. Now, let's put this to use a little bit more. So, let me take my selection tool and let's chop that out. Let's go ahead and get rid of my standard voxel. Now we're going to do something a little different. Let's make something else. We're going to make a similar little thing like so. Let's copy this. Let's copy it. And I'm going to stack this a few times. Like so. Doesn't matter exactly how many times. Depends on how smooth you want it. But I'm just going to smooth this once or twice just to get it give it a new shape. Okay. I'm going to take this and let's copy this. Let's paste it. Like so. So now I've got a smoothed out version of what I just made. Right? Okay. So now we have this. Let's go ahead and use our heal tool on this item that I have smoothed out and made rounded edges and such. We're going to heal this out. Okay. Now, the healing process has deformed it. So let's go back over here and we're going to copy that. Let's go back to our selection tool, do a copy, and I'm going to paste a version on both sides of it right now. Paste one on this side, paste one on this side, and it looks like I've turned it into stone, but trust me, I haven't. So I'm gonna copy just this side of it, and that's gonna leave my actual stone next to it. So let's copy that. Come over to our board, paste, and let's make sure that we're right up against it, just like so. And I'm gonna click with air, check. Now let's go ahead and select our outside little selection that we have, delete that, and now my design that I put in there, voila, is literally carved into the wood. Now, the applications and things you can do with that, I'm gonna leave that to your imagination. You can probably do some really cool, intricate, like pattern scribbly scrabblies and Celtic designs and stuff like that that I've seen all different kinds of stuff with. But that is a process that you can be able to get, you know, like your rounded patterns and stuff that you really couldn't be able to make before. So, you know, like now if I take, like I said, this is Zero Data Voxels. When I selected this outside piece, or this whole entire shape, you see the size of the box, right? You've got a 4x6. Now over here, there's literally a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's why you have these gaps that have been cut out of your wood. Now, if I take that same exact idea, now let's do something different. Well, let's grab a little piece here. Let's bring this up. Let's fill it in, and we're going to cut a pattern out of this. This is pretty much like doing the old inlays, but I'm going to kind of press it a little bit farther with the using those negative voxels. All right, somebody just followed me. That's awesome. Thanks. I just heard a gunshot, so I know somebody just followed. Okay. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to move it over here. Let's move this up. I'm going to paste. I'm going to take this and do pretty much the same exact effect of what I did before. And I'm going to paste a few copies out like so. I'm going to copy this. Copy. And then I'm going to smooth. Hold on a second. Let's back up a second. I want to make sure that I don't disturb the outside edges, and having this one single voxel is going to be an issue. So let me go ahead and select this bottom. Let's go ahead and add an extra voxel on the top and the bottom so we know we don't disturb whatever it is that we're actually putting this into, because I'm going to end up chopping out just the center portion. All right, so bam. Now let's smooth it out. We'll smooth this. Use our smooth tool. We'll hit it just a few times, like this. Now let's grab our center section. Hit copy. Paste. Bam. So now I have this little funky design, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and use my heal tool on this. I'm going to cover this whole entire thing with our healed space. What's up, SS? Okay, let's see here. Go ahead and finish healing all this poop up. As you can tell, there's certain little areas that are getting deformed as I do the healing. But it does leave a pretty interesting little shape up there. Alright, it looks like we're pretty much done. Let me go ahead and make sure. I'm going to go over it one little bit more time, especially on these thick areas. Now, what I want to do here is pretty much the same effect. I'm going to go ahead and take this center section, which I think I still have it on my clipboard, but just to be safe, let's go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to actually select, hold on a second here. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I've already got that saved, so let's paste it. But there's something I want to do to it before I actually put it next to that. I'm going to select this outside top, and I'm going to hit it with just standard voxels. And there's a reason why I want to do this, and mainly because I want to make sure that I don't have deformed voxels that hit my my actual piece of wood, because if you do, you're going to end up messing up the actual wood itself. So let's go ahead and hit these outside sections like so. And I'm going to select this, hit copy, and I'm going to paste this on the front side and the back side of this. One here. And one here. Now, the same as I did before, I'm just going to select this center and this outside one. Hit copy. Let's go to our piece of wood. Let's select this. And let's fill this back in so we don't get kind of lost on with all this other crap that's up here. All right, so we have this. We're going to paste it in at the same location. And the reason why, I wanted to make sure that I didn't mess up the wood around it, because maybe I want to put something else over there, and if I got deformed voxels on that outside edge, it would basically, they'll start doing this crinkling and you'll get messed up patterns and whatnot. So there we go. We've got her all set. Now let's go ahead and click yes. Now if I select this and hit delete, I've got a pretty cool little looking pattern going on. Now you get this little discoloration here mainly because of the shape. It's literally the voxel has pulled this way, and this one has pulled this way, and this one that resided here has basically pulled into it like this, pulled off into the side of it. So that's where you get, this coloration and stuff. And sometimes redoing the process or changing your shape a little bit can help eliminate this, but not much you can really do about it. Now if I copy this here, just to try to clean up some of the voxels that are around this, you don't want to get too close to it, because all you're going to end up doing is like totally destroying what you tried to do. See, like that. But you could probably make an elephant. Okay. So there's that. That's playing with the zero data voxels and being able to create some pretty intricate design work and stuff like that. In the same way, you can also use it to create inlays, that sort of thing. But this is just being able to kind of play with some design work, the different ways that I've used it in the past.